not fiction, collected from real people. These ghost stories are the ones that wouldn't stay buried. Spiraken Manga Review, episode 632. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host Zen, saying konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? Hope you're doing well and hope you're excited for another fun-filled episode of this awesome podcast you can find at www.spiraken.com. Also, youtube.com/Spiraken, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and various other social media sites. Just type in SPIRAKN. I'll guarantee you find us one way or another. And with that in mind, let's actually get to it, because if you remember from the last episode, I spun that one that only the wheel of manga, and it dictated unto me that I'd be reviewing a manga that was not really a cohesive story, but more an anthology. And what are we talking about? We are talking about Grim Night Tales, and this is a story collection written by Yamayu and illustrated by Kensei Hokamoto. And this is a very chilling horror anthology that over 20 years Yamayu collected. And he decided to take these horror stories from various people and created this very interesting, very unsettling collection, which opens up very disturbingly. It opens up with a cover page of a guy going to check someone who's making weird noises in a public bathroom. He's a police officer. He opens a door, and the bathroom is covered with archaic writings and a girl who looks super thin and pale. What next we find out is we see the young girl in black and white in a love hotel talking to someone. And she's like, "Hey, mister, do you like scary stories? I do. Let me tell you about some of my favorites, because they're the best things in the world, because they're romantic and wonderful. And Ray's going to be telling you all about it." And you're kind of like, this is kind of creepy. What's going on here? Did they hook up? Because obviously there's a guy in bed and she's talking about these scary story things. At first you think, is he dead? What's going on? Well, she opens up getting into the actual story, which is pretty, well, different. It's about a man who gets hired by someone to come in and visit and discuss, well, a mystery in his house, that he's being haunted by a ghost. And there's weird things going on, and he deals with the fact that his wife died and his wife's ghost is haunting him, but his child is still alive. But that's not entirely the case, as we follow the unnamed narrator, whose name is pretty much Y. We're assuming it actually is going to be Yamayu. And it's one of these things where it's a little disturbing, a little dark. And then we find out the truth of what's going on, which is kind of horrifying. I'm not going to spoil it because you should read this for yourself, but it's a little disturbing. And then it ends after this very dark and scary story that the girl Ray actually kidnapped the cop and she is telling him stories. And that's how this goes. It goes from her just going through the motions of telling these stories, opening up that these are not based off real people, but the names have been changed to protect identities. And then it gets into the different stories. Everything from someone who is dealing with a smiling ghost, to a strange stain on a ceiling, to even one about a creepy doll that a mom bought someone, and even one that's kind of sad, romantic, about a suicide point in Japan. And honestly, this is a story which, well, it's an anthology which Junji Ito's like, this is amazing, it's great. That's on the jacket copy, that Junji Ito loves this. And as I read it, it's different, it's unique, but it feels like a Tales from the Crypt. If you remember Tales from the Crypt, it's this very dark story series where the Crypt Keeper will come, say a joke, and then we watch the story happen, and then it goes back to the framing device. And that's what happens here. It keeps going back and forth, which isn't bad. It's not bad, but it's been done before. I've read this before in Tales from the Dark Side, in a lot of horror comics, in a lot of kids' horror stories. It's a horror anthology. Junji Ito's done this. And is it as good as Junji Ito's? Well, the artwork is very different. It's got some similarities, but it's kind of shoujo-y, where the girls have bigger eyes and it looks kind of cute, but then it gets dark really quick. There are moments, some scenes which are very hyper detailed, other scenes which are kind of chibi, so it goes all over the place. The story itself, Ray is the only real character that shows up multiple times, because she's the narrator. She's telling the story, and the guy who we don't know his name is being held hostage. Yeah, he's just there along for the ride. The author from the first chapter, named Y, which I'm assuming is a sit-in for Yamayu, does show up in 2 stories. So maybe he is a recurring character, but there's no recurring characters. And it is a story which I'm like, oh, it should be great. I should say it's amazing and wonderful. And I'm like, it's okay. But it's, something's kind of, I don't know. It doesn't sit completely with me. And I was thinking back and forth about it. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it the best thing since sliced bread? Is it garbage? I really didn't know. I was going back and then I reread it. I went through each of the stories. And honestly, this is a great chilling anthology if you're a fan of horror story. It's a simple set, which you're just like, okay, I want to read one at a time, put it down, and you're done with it. If you're looking for a cohesive story, like a true horror collect story, you're looking for something like No Longer Human, Homunculus, something like that, this isn't for you. This is the one and done. You're going to read it, put it down, then you look at it later, which I'm usually a fan of, but this one, not so much. But it is still really good, and it did make me think, and it did creep me out. So going back and forth for a little bit, I have to admit that for this series, I'm going to have this series, Grim Night Hearts, which, also the jacket copy is really well done. The actual physical print is nice. It's got this very nice sheeny cover. I know sheeny instead of shiny. There are color pages in it, and it flows well. And it's got the new book spell. So for that reason, I'm going to have to give this our second highest rating, actually, of Born from a Friend and Don't Return Unless Offered Pocky. It's got this detailed artwork, and the victims are really riveting. You feel for them. They're the ones who told the story. And this is great for horror fans with a unique collection of work, but a lot of stories are unresolved. They go quick, and some of the elements are grotesque in a way where it's not going to make you want to read more. So if you're looking for something long term, this isn't for you. This is a read and done. Now, the tropes are going to be horror anthology, creepy narrator, and it's got some disturbing endings in it. And, well, if you've read this and you agree or disagree, you could email me personally at Zan, that's xan@spiraken.com, or tweet me at Spiraken. Let me know your thoughts. If you like this or didn't like this, or if you agree with me or disagree with me. Now, before going any further, let's actually get to the manga releases for the week, because we've got some really good ones and some that are really crazy. So let's go to it. Starting off, we've got Always a Catch, How I Punched My Way into Marrying a Prince. This is volume 7 of the series. Then we've got Astro Royale Volume 6. This is the final volume of the series. Astro Royale is done. It got canceled. Then we've got The Beast King Master of Medicines, Volume 2. Billy Bat, Volume 1. This is Naoki Urasawa's most anticipated release. It's been in licensing hell for a couple of years because of some of the elements. So I'm definitely excited to pick this one up. We have Blade of the Guardians, Volume 2. The Bugle Call Song of War, Volume 7. 21, Chainsaw Man, which is the Chainsaw Man's 21st volume, and this looks really good. You've got City Hunter, Volume 3. Yes, more Ryo Saiba. You've got Dark Gathering, Volume 18. We've got The Delinquent and the Transfer Student. This series, the artwork I'm not a fan of, but the story is drawing me in like no tomorrow. We've got The Elusive Samurai, Volume 20. We've got The Exiled Heavy Knight Knows How to Game the System, manga number 1-2. It's omnibus. The Feisty Omega and His Twin Mates, Volume 4. Ghost and Witch, Volume 2. The Golden Terrace, Volume 1. Gangwoo Beanbai. Healer for the Shadow Hero, Volume 4. I Got Married to the Girl I Hate Most in Class, Volume 6. The Ice Blade Sorcerer Shall Rule the World, Volume 13. Ichi the Witch, Volume 3. Amno Angel, the new Ai Aizawa manga. This one has been highly anticipated, and she admits that after she was done with this, she's going back to Nana, so let's read it and enjoy it. Initial D, Omnibus 10, is The Order of Rabbit, Volume 5. Let's Do It Already, Volume 9. This is the final volume of the entire series. Lout of Count's Family, Light Novel 8. Low Tide in Twilight, Light Novel 2. Magical Girl Dandelion, Volume 2. Mysterious Disappearances, Volume 9. Nana, Special Edition, Volume 4. Pink Candy Kiss, Volume 2. Run Wild Say, Volume 5. Sea Melt Lover, and this is going to be Volume 2, I believe. Then we have Shinobi Undercover, Volume 1. Shugo Chara, 20th Anniversary Edition, Volume 2. And Shugo Chara Jewel Joker, Volume 2. A Star Brighter Than the Sun, Volume 6. Timon's B-Side, Volume 11. The 12 Kingdoms, Book 5, 1,000 Miles of Wind in the Sky at Dawn, Part 1. And last and certainly not least, we've got Welcome to Demon School Iruma-kun, Volume 20. So these are the manga releases for the week. We've got some good ones, we've got some bad ones, and we've got some weird ones. Which of these are you most excited about? Let me know. Email me, zan@spiraken.com, or tweet me at Spiraken. Now, for me personally, my top 5 for this week are going to be, obviously, Billy Bats is number 1. I've been excited for this manga because it's a story of a cartoonist who finds out that the creation he made actually was around way longer than he created it, and there's some mysterious element to it. You've got The Delinquent and the Transfer Student, Volume 1. This is a weird friendship romance that could be pretty cool. I'm No Angel, it's Ai Aizawa. Let's Do It Already. I really like the series, and while it was a little wheel spinny, I think it's going to end really well. And Shinobi Undercover, it's a ninja story that looks a lot of fun. So these are my top manga releases for the week. Let me know your thoughts on if you agree, disagree, or let me know. And before we go any further, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for checking out this podcast and show. Every email I get, every new comment, every new subscriber, it gives me more motivation to keep doing this. And I love doing this. So let's keep going on. We're currently at 632. Let's see if we can make it to 1,000. within the next 3 years. Let's see what we can do. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Some other big news this weekend was Animazement 2026. Greta and I had a blast. Everyone who was there, you're all amazing. For everyone who subscribed, you're all awesome. I'm going to be doing a con report. Have some of the images from the convention there, and we're going to talk about that. I will say I got some decent swag, including my one I was most proud of, Ranma-chan, the variant Funko Pop. For those of you who don't know, I'm a huge Ranma fan, and finding Ranma-chan in the wild was awesome. Also, I got original Stitch, which I paid way too much for. The original design Stitch, which is the green one, which looks creepy. Apparently, he went really cheap on Funko website, and I paid a little more than I should have. But I digress. We'll talk about that, all the fun things, all the bad things. Greta will be involved, and also will be using our new mics. We have some portable mics, or which are clip-on, so you'll see how that goes. But regardless, I think that's it for this episode. I believe I got everything. Oh, yes. Beforehand, if you like, share, and subscribe, as always, go to www.spiraken.com or youtube.com/Spiraken. And if you're watching on YouTube, speaking of which, remember to like, share, subscribe, and click on that bell for notification for when we release new episodes. And with that in mind, let's get to the most important part of this podcast and this show. And what are we talking about? We are talking about that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga! Yes, friends, the Wheel of Manga, except no substitution. What is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a wheel of fortune with 10 slots on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the wheel. Whatever number it lands on, that's the manga I'm going to review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga Review, episode 632. And we've got some really fun titles, some really weird titles, and more importantly, we've got a lot of retro titles. So let's spin into our interview in the next episode, shall we? And that is a really good spin. Number 7. This one's been a long time waiting. We're going to be doing the new anniversary edition of Lone Wolf and Cub. The last time we reviewed that manga was over 500 episodes ago. So, wow. This is going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. As usual, I am your host, Zan. I am Gonzville. I'll catch you guys next time. And as always, keep reading manga. I will see you later.